Today, we are going to be speaking about impatience. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to another episode of Claire here. This is Spiritual Sundays. So we're going to be speaking about impatience. Let me tell you something. I'm surprised I wasn't born sooner, because there's no way I waited till 1991 to be born. Like, I am one of God's most impatient child. And guess what he does? He keeps giving me opportunities to be patient. I promise you. Did y'all want me to do the 20 push-ups I promised from last time? I'd rather give you 20 push-ups than have to wait on anything. I started off with one of my favorite verses was Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. For everything there is a season and a time under everything in heaven. I have it memorized because I say it to myself daily. I have this tendency to where, like, I even run, like because walking's too slow. Like, like every part of me is impatient. I need y'all to know that. But I want y'all to hear these two stories that I have lined up. And so I was 4 years stuck. I want to call it stuck, but I was in my job year. So Job is a person from the Bible where he had everything in life, like good credit score, wife and kids, all that. And then, the devil was like, oh, I bet you if Job didn't have none of that, he wouldn't like you no more. And God was like, bet. So Job pretty much was in desolation for 5 years. And God's in heaven talking about, see, look, he's still praying. I told you. So after the 5 years was up, then Job was rewarded. God gave him everything. And he prayed without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 17, prayed without ceasing. And I was at this job for 4 years, and I remember at one point I was like, not only did God forget about me, I was like, he's gotta not even be real, because I've been praying without ceasing. I was like, what is going on? I've been at this job for 4 years. Like, the first year was great, as it always is. And the first year was great. And then the second year, I was like, okay, this is not bad. The third year, I was like, God, I don't know what's going on. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hello. Like, I was like, maybe it's because I have T-Mobile. Maybe my prayer is on a different line. I don't know. Like, I was trying to figure out. I was like, what is going on? And so after those 4 years, this is where this thing takes a turn, is that after those 4 years, when it was time to look for a new job, I had my pick of my jobs. I had the pick of the litter. And the reason why is because they're like, oh, well, you stayed at this job for 4 years, so that shows that you're not going to skip around. Like, I had jobs left and right trying to hire me. And it's really insane, because every part of that journey that I was being impatient with, it was worth it. It was worth it to see, like, the lifestyle that I have now. But, like, those 4 years, were really, really hard. And like I said, like, with everything having the perfect time and all that, like, imagine if the first year after I complained to God, because I stayed complaining, but let's say after the first year I complained, and he was like, oh, okay, well, let me get my daughter out of this. And I ended up at a job I hated even more, or I ended up not even being able to get a job because I wasn't at a job long enough to build that time. And during that time, I was able to truly, build my patience, build skills that I still use to this day at my career now. And, it just really, in my perspective, like, it just really showed that, like, his timing is the best timing, even if you don't see it, even while you're in the midst of it. His timing is the best timing. I can definitely say 5 out of 5 stars, but when you're in the midst of it, and then you have people heckling for some reason, like, people, same thing with Job also had people heckling him saying, oh, your God has betrayed you now. And I felt the same way. Like, there was plenty of times when I was at this job, and there would be people come up. Like, I went through so much just like visceral anguish from the people that I work with, and where I was able to get through it with God, even though my walk with him was not as strong as it is now. And I have my next story. So you guys know that I have a degree in psychology, and I can say to this day, my degree is the hardest thing I've ever done. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, I know people are adamant, like I said, everything's in God's timing, but if I could, let's say, a suggestion, get your education while you're young. Get your education while you're young. Not because of what you think, it's just that, like, the mental toll it takes on you, you have to be able to build that up when you're young, because once you get older, you're going to be stuck in your ways, you're going to be comfortable, you're not going to be really worried about that. But I got my degree in 2009. You don't do that math too real quick, okay? But I got my degree in 2009, and you know what's funny is just that, so USF has this thing that when you click into your scheduling, it shows the requirements for that year that you'll be for graduation, right? So I accidentally clicked on 2009 to 2010, and with how many classes I had there, how many credits I had there, I was only 60% done. They had 40% more requirements for that degree when I clicked in 2009 to 2010, compared to when I had my curriculum from 2008 to 2009, I was 98% done. So if I would have waited, if I would have been in school for one more year, I probably wouldn't be speaking to you right now. Okay, like I wouldn't be speaking to you with the knowledge of a psychologist, because I'd have to switch my degree. Okay, because USF has this thing where if you don't get your degree after a certain amount of time, you have to switch colleges. Fun fact. But so I was like, wow, like the fact that I graduated exactly at 2009 is what allowed me to get my degrees right now. And it's just during that time of getting a degree, like I remember like I had a whole breakdown in 2000 I got my degree I went to USF in 2009 and I graduated in 2013. Child, it's been so long. Sorry. The math's not mathing. Anyway, either way, but like I remember the reason why I say that is 2012 was one of the hardest years of my life. Like I'm 34 and 2012 still winning. She's still winning, okay? And the reason why it was so hard is because this is the year right before I was about to graduate, and there was just so many outside factors. And as a first generation college graduate, first generation high school graduate, you pretty much have your entire generation's future on your neck. Okay, and we can talk about that later on if you guys want to. But you have it on your neck. You have the entire like all your ancestors are literally on your neck. You are going to decide whether or not the wealth continues after you're gone. Okay. And it was just really frustrating, because I wish more people would speak about the wilderness season. You know, when Job, when Job, I feel like I've been saying his name wrong. When Job was in his wilderness season, like they never speak about that time. Like there's a time where, I've heard this, there's a time where like, it's just so quiet. You don't hear nothing. Cause usually like me, I've only heard God truly speak once or twice, and it was like when I was in the trenches of my sin, and he was like, stop. I was like, oh, and it wasn't my voice, it was a man's voice. I was like, oh my goodness. But he definitely shows me signs, you know. So but during this time when I graduated, I was like, what do I do after? And I know there's a quote, there's always like, oh, God wouldn't bring you further than he can help you with. He wouldn't give you more than you can bear. As I know, but sometimes he sees things that I haven't seen yet. So I don't know I have that strength yet. So definitely like getting that degree is the reason why I'm filming on this camera. All this financial wealth, like it's from that degree. It's from God. It's from his help. And like, it's just really showing there's a time for everything. Because if I would have failed out one more year, I don't even know where my degree would be at. I don't know who I would have met or who I wouldn't have met, what job I would be at. I don't know where financially I would be at. Probably have to move back to Miami with my family. Like, I don't know exactly where I would be at. And that's why I said, like, with the timing, you need to understand, if you're going through a season right now where you feel like God has forgotten you, he has not. It is impossible to forget your kids you love. Okay. So we're going to go into this one, is why sin and greed. So this is my favorite topic to talk about, because one thing I've noticed is a pattern of whenever there's sin and greed, is from impatience. All right. They were worried about, I was like, people are so worried about the 10 Commandments. I was like, impatience need to be the second commandment. Okay. Because impatience leads to so many times where people have indulged in sin, greed. Like, how many times you've heard stories, like, even with, I don't even know how to say this, like, even with Bong from Big Hit Entertainment, the one who's behind BTS, like, even with him going through his financial issues right now, it's from greed. It's from impatience. It's from the fact that I can't wait for me to have this more money. I already have this more money, greed. Okay. How many times you've seen like these celebrities where they were just like, okay, well, I want to get a shortcut to this, so I'm going to do something illegal on the side, and then they get caught for doing that, and now their whole thing implodes. Like, every single I was like, it's the impatience. It is the impatience. Like, this is the one thing I can say the enemy does well. They press on our impatience. Like, our flesh is so impatient. So impatient. I think I got the most impatient flesh I've ever seen. All right. Like, when I look back at the time, that's the part, is just that, like, when I look back at the time of when I was impatient, I was like, it wasn't even for that long. Like, I'm in the corner. I was like, it wasn't, I'm like, oh my goodness, Lord, I've been waiting forever. Where are you? It'll be like 3 minutes. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I'm in the corner. I was like, no, wait a minute. What is going on? Like, it's not even that long. What is happening? But it's just me personally, like, there's something to be said about the fact that we always lose that. He got us on that one. I can say he got us, like, the victory is still through God. But the one thing I can say is that impatience, he got us on that one. All right. Because there's been plenty of times where, like, I'll hear a behind the music, and there's always a level of impatience before the fall. Like, you have MC Hammer, who lost all his money, who's worth nothing. You have there's so many countless people I can't think of right now, but there's a long list. But there's so many countless people that they're impatient. They're just like, okay, well, I don't want to wait for the process. I want to try to find a shortcut. Like, there was plenty, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but the Barbizon scandal, like, basically Barbizon was a modeling agency that promised, okay, well, so-and-so celebrity started with Barbizon, you should put your kids in it, we'll get you to celebrity status. It's basically trying to have, like, a gateway, like a cheat code, a way of trying to be able to go around hard work and truly practicing your craft. There's no way around it. Okay. There's no way around it. You have to do the hard work. And the thing about it is just that with impatience, that when you're impatient, you do yourself a disservice, because you don't get to attain those skills to get to the next level. You jump to the next level. Let me say that again. When you're impatient, you do not attain the skills that is going to take you to the next level. You're jumping to it. And then when you get to that next level, you're wondering, why am I not good at this? 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 Why is this not working? You're not ready yet. Like, even there's something big that I'm asking God to give me, and I see why he has not given it to me yet. I'm truly not ready. Like, mentally, I'm just like, I can do this, but I'm truly not ready. Okay. And I feel like in that same aspect, like some of us, we need to be real. We need to be honest. Like, I feel like the first step to, like I was saying in my last episode about dressing conservatively, was asking this question. Like, you need to question yourself. You need to truly question yourself. Don't go ask your friend or family member who's going to sit there and placate you and say, girl, you're not just like, no, question yourself. Truly ask yourself, I wonder why I'm not at this next level yet, instead of skipping. I promise you, trying to skip to that next level without the skills, you're going to fail. Either not today, tomorrow, but you will fail. You are not ready for that next level. Okay. And so This is another thing too, I have as well, is just the appeal. Like, I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but people who do shortcuts be having a ball. You know, they be having a ball. They be I promise you. Like, one of the biggest things that hurt so much was that I was watching people scam. Hey, this is Florida. This is the state of the scammers. I would watch people scam. Like, I remember I had a coworker, and she falsified IRS statements, and she got a brand new car. And I'm in the corner at the bus stop watching her drive by, and I'm just like, she be having a ball. But guess what happened? Not even 6 months later, she ended up crashing that car. Like, full on totaling the car out. And now I implore you. I don't care what they got going on. If they have God, they have nothing. If they don't have God, they don't have nothing. Okay? I don't care how good they look. I don't care how good they look. I don't care if they're trying to sit there and try to make you feel bad. Ha ha ha. And I was like, let them heckle. They heckled Jesus Christ. Let them heckle. Let them heckle you. Let them bother you. Let them do all these things. Let it happen. Because if you don't have God, you really have nothing. That's why you'll sit there and you'll see people, these millionaires, these billionaires, sit there and take themselves out of this world. And people say, it came from nowhere. I was like, it's because they're trying to hide behind these things. They're trying to hide behind these things. Like, if you don't have, I promise you, like, I was at a really high paying job. We were getting bonuses that were 4 figures, and I still felt so empty. Like, I felt like I had nothing. And I know people are like, oh, let me get some of that nothing. You know, we got bills to pay with that nothing. I'm not saying I was still blessed to be in that position, but like, it's not as fulfilling as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be where I get all these things, and I'm just like, yes. And it's just kind of like, you know, like, the preview for this looks so good, but definitely trying to hijack and trying to cheat your way through God's timing. I can say I've tried. I ain't gonna hold you. I have. Okay, I've tried to hijack. Okay, basically try to control what is already gonna be taking place, and I promise you it doesn't work. Like, my main thing is just that you need to know that doing stuff outside of His word is always gonna look good. Okay, because the word appeals to your spirit. It doesn't. I was like, the word appeals to your spirit, but sin appeals to your flesh. Why do you think it's so hard to stop eating chips, eating fried foods? Like, the main thing is just that you need to develop a new appetite. That's the problem. You need to develop a new appetite, because when you develop a new appetite, shortcuts don't look appealing anymore. Okay, shortcuts don't look appealing anymore. Lying, deceit, none of it looks appealing anymore. You need to develop a different appetite. It's gotten to the point where I can't even eat a full bag of chips. Okay, I'll eat it once in a while, and that's it. Like, my body craves vegetables. It craves fresh fruits, fresh water. I haven't drank soda in almost 20 years. Like, you have to develop a different appetite. That's the main reason about how I know this time is different. You develop a different appetite. So when it comes to seeing, oh, this person did this, and they'll heckle you. They'll heckle you. They will heckle you. Sorry. They'll heckle you. They'll make fun of you. They'll try to denigrate your character. But I know the truth, and God is the truth. Jesus is the truth and the light, says so the Lord. And my issue is the fact that the appeal, you're on social media, you're seeing these people who are doing these shortcuts, doing things that are not right, and they're having a ball. I'm telling you, they're having a ball. Literally, sometimes they ball, they'll actual throw a ball. But you need to understand that I was like, that the enemy will always, like, that's the one part I can say, like, if that's the one thing I can say that he's really good at. And it's because with our flesh, like, we are not patient. We are not patient. Like, look at children. Children are the perfect example of us at our rawness. You try telling your 2-year-old, hey, you try putting a cup of juice in front of your 2-year-old and say, don't drink this, I'll be right back. You let me know. Do that test today. Do that test today with your toddler. Let me know how that turns out. Kids are the rawest form of us. We are naturally impatient. Okay. So conclusion. So I have on here Lamentations 3 verse 25. Jehovah is good unto those that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. This piece, this Bible verse as well is another one that I definitely want to bring into my rotation. It's just that y'all don't understand. Sometimes I feel like I've been given the gift of sight, as in God will purposely show me, I need you to see what it looks like when you don't have my, when I don't give you my covering. I want you to see what it looks like, and it's not fun. Like anytime I've seen somebody and it's not under God's covering, like the results of their life, and this is not judgment, this is just bearing witness. Like, he really does not want anything bad to happen to us. Like that was the biggest part that brought me back, is just looking like my life my life is a witness of what it looks like when I say he doesn't want anything bad to happen to you. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to you. I need you to know that. Now, of course, there's discipline. I mean, when I work out 2 times a week, that's discipline. All right, there's going to be certain parts that are not fun, but looking back at how many times where I was just like, hey, God, just give it to me, I'll figure it out. He makes sure the meal is full on finished, even at a microscopic level. Okay, so when you sit there and you have that seed of impatience and people are passing you or lapping you on the race, I need you to know the meal he has prepped for you is perfection. It's going to last a long time. It's not going to be easily broken. Like, I just remember with my job that I got right before COVID started. Ooh, can I say that? Okay, right before the pandemic started. And we were we were like one of the first people to work from home during the pandemic, because all of our desks are like on top of each other. But when I saw so many people losing jobs left and right, and I remember starting this job was like, I took a pay cut for this job so I can really like learn the skills. And I remember just looking at some people who was losing their jobs, and his covering never stopped. Like, because I'm more of a person that if I order a meal and you're 60% done, I'll finish it. God don't do that. He does 110%. And then once he sees that you're truly ready to eat, you have all your utensils ready, everything, then he hands it to you when you're not even looking. You're not even looking at it. Okay, that's his style. At least that's his style for me. Because there was like, even with my degree, I was actually supposed to graduate in 3 years, but I ended up graduating in 4. And I remember when God handed me this degree is 12 years old, and it's still opening doors, still getting me jobs. Like, I'm so glad that he wasn't like, okay, well, I'm 60% done, here you go. You know, it's protected me from unemployment. It's protected me from jobs that would have led me to do A, B, and C, or led me to meet this person. Like, he has protected me this whole time, still protecting to this day. And there's times where, you know, the flesh is like, come on now, you know, transit number. But I know all in all in my heart that how exciting, you know, the next step of what he has planned for you. And I want you to know you're right on time. You're not behind anybody else. Like, one thing too that also helped me with impatience is that I've never seen God give everything to a person before. I've never seen it. Besides Job, I've never seen it. Like, you may think this person has everything, they're missing something. Every person has an asterisk that they're missing. So he may have given you that first, but then give that person that later in life. You know, they may have given that person later in life, given you that first. So just know that impatience is a virtue. but you are a work in progress. So don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here.